I spent some time today going to the storage unit, getting a bunch of boxes out. Still didn't find the rest of my pennants to put them up around the room. So, got what I got for right now. Probably go get more tomorrow. So yeah, still in the process of getting everything set up. Now, what I mentioned last night, and I wanted to do this today. I haven't really done this much this year, and I did it last year a few times where a team player was having a really good year, and I thought it was worth highlighting. And I want to talk about Brett Connolly. You know why? Because nobody is. I haven't seen him mentioned anywhere. I haven't seen him mentioned as being like, oh, he's a fantasy waiver wire pickup. Not much of anything. And yet, Brett Connolly's a guy who came into the league, was a bust, and now he's reinvented himself as a pretty decent player. Now, at the time he scouted in 2010, he is seen as a power forward in the NHL. And he himself said that he was a lot like Rick Nash. That's the player he would most compare himself to. This is why I hate that. I don't like when players are put in a corner and which player do you play like? Because then the expectation is, oh, he's another Rick Nash. He's going to score 40 goals and he's going to be a big physical guy. And he may not reach that, but yeah, it's great. Just put that on him. So he's drafted 6th overall by the Tampa Bay Lightning. And what's notable is he's drafted immediately before Jeff Skinner. He's drafted before Mikhail Granlund, Cam Fowler, and Vladimir Tarasenko. These are 4 guys drafted in that first round who had generated a lot of buzz. So for Connolly, there's some pressure, and yet it's Tampa, right? So Tampa's a deep organization, and I think that played a part in what happened here. So he doesn't make the team out of his first training camp. But his second training camp, 2011-2012, he ends up playing 68 games as a rookie. 4 goals, 11 assists. Totals aren't up where they should be, but you know what? It's fine because he's a kid, right? Sometimes they have rookie years like this, and it's not a big deal. But then, 2012-2013, he only got 5 games at the NHL level and had a single goal. Plays in Syracuse the rest of the year, playing top 6 minutes, 71 games played, 31 goals, 32 assists, 63 points. And this is where the negative talk starts, because year 3, he doesn't make the team either. Year 3, he ends up down in Syracuse. And as part of a numbers game too. Tyler Johnson, Andre Palat, and Richard Panik have passed him. So these guys are getting prime time on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and there's no room for him. The mindset is we don't want him on the 4th line. We want him playing top 6 minutes. In order to get that, he needs to go to the American League and play for Syracuse. And he plays well. 66 games played, 21 goals, 36 assists, and 57 points. He gets called up a few times by the Lightning. In his call-ups, he plays a grand total of 11 games and has 1 goal to go on to his record. So you can see why, coming out of year 3, people are saying, this kid isn't going to make it. 2014-2015, he plays for the Lightning right out of camp. But again, you can see that there's some frustration probably with him and probably with the organization. 50 games played, 12 goals, only 3 assists for a total of 15 points. The Boston Bruins say, you know what, we're going to take a flyer on this guy. They trade the 2015 and 2016 second-round picks for Brett Connolly, which, in retrospect, may have been an overpayment by the Bruins. And I don't say that to insult Connolly. It's just they ended up letting him go. He plays 5 games and has 2 points, 2 assists in 2014-2015. 2015-2016 season, he signs a 1-year contract with the Boston Bruins to give another shot. Plays 71 games. So they didn't send him to Providence. 9 goals, 16 assists, 25 points. And as far as I remember, he played 3rd or 4th line with the Bruins. So he was playing exactly the kind of minutes that the Lightning earlier were saying, you don't want him in that spot. He's really not that guy. And the Bruins said, well, if he's going to play, he's going to be that guy. At the end of the year, they don't tender him a qualifying offer. They say, you know what? We're going to move on. This was a mistake. We're going to let him go as an unrestricted free agent. So a restricted free agent has the rights owned by the team if they're extended a qualifying offer, which has to be a certain amount of money, and the Bruins looked at that amount of money and said, nah, we'll just go find somebody else kind of thing. July 1st, 2016, he signs with the Washington Capitals. So the Capitals are more than willing to bring in a guy like Connolly because there's cap issues with the Capitals, and this is a team that if they can bring in a guy on the cheap, they'll do it. And it works out pretty well for him. 66 games played, 15 goals, 8 assists, 23 points. So at the NHL level, this is the most goals he's scored in a season. And in the playoffs. He gets no points in 7 games. But still, there's kind of that, I don't know, this negative connotation with Connolly. But last year he kind of came into his own as, all right, this is where I'm at, and I'm going to make this work. Plays 70 games, 15 goals, 12 assists, 27 points, in a support role with the Capitals. 24 games in the playoffs, 6 goals, 3 assists, and 9 points, including the primary assist on Lars Eller's cup-winning goal in Game 5 against Vegas. Connolly comes around and really embraces the role he gets with the Capitals. A role which he couldn't get and wouldn't get with Tampa. A role which he didn't excel with Boston in performing that role. This year, it kind of feels like when you watch Connolly play that the pressure's gone. All of this, 2006 or 2010 number 6 draft pick, you're a bum, you're a flop, blah blah blah. All of that seems to be gone. Because when I watch him play right now, there's a confidence, there's a calmness in his game, and maybe it's because he won a Stanley Cup this past June. Probably helps. He's played 71 games so far this season when I'm recording this, 19 goals, 20 assists, 39 points, crushing his previous highs with still 11 games left on the schedule. And it's remarkable. It's remarkable to think that Connolly might finally be becoming a version of what Tampa had drafted in 2010. So it takes 8 or 9 years for him to get there. And this is why when I see people writing off prospects who are maybe a year or 2 years into the league, it's kind of, it's tough. Now, at the same time, for my full disclosure, I've said I don't see Puljujarvi as an NHL level player, as an example, where I watch him play and I'm like, I don't think he has the tools as an NHLer. But Connolly was hearing that a lot, and then he reinvented himself. He's now played a total of 417 games, 76 goals, 72 assists, 148 points, 31 games in the playoffs, 6 goals, 3 assists in those playoffs. He's going to be a key guy for the Capitals because when a team keys on Ovechkin and Kuznetsov and the big guns and is able to shut them down, he now gives them that support, that scoring from that 3rd/4th line, wherever he's put. Second line if he has to be put there, that now he actually has become exactly where I think, or exactly what I think he had envisioned himself to be when he was drafted. It's a good story. And it's a guy that it's really easy to just look at his numbers and say, I remember he was a top, highly thought of draft pick. Look where he is now. Yeah, he's a 20-goal scorer on a defending Stanley Cup champion. And honestly, with the play that he's performed this year, I think he'll likely get a little bit of a bump in his pay the next time that his contract's up. And this is why I salute these guys who don't give up. When he could have given up and gone to Europe after, say, not getting tendered a qualifying offer from the Bruins, and there are players that would say, I'm going to play in the European leagues, I'm going to play in the KHL, he decided to stick it out and give it another shot with the Capitals, and it's a good thing he did. So there you go. The career of Brett Connolly, a player that I don't think gets any attention right now, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a video on him. There you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just tap it upon this video. I'll talk to you again soon.